Hi, this is Melissa with Little Black Desk Society, and I'm excited to talk to you today about moving your business to the next level and what that includes. So, there are three things that we're going to talk about today, and they include what enables your business to move to the next level, the three habits that are crucial to your success, and then best practices. And during the best practices, I will be sharing some of the tips that I'm implementing as I prepare for 2019. So I'm excited to have you with me today. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I will get to those. Also, for those of you that are watching on Instagram as we go live today, I will be here for the entire presentation, both in the recorded session and on Instagram Live. So I look forward to chatting with you. So moving right into what enables you to move to the next level. The first thing that you want to do is define your next level. Levels are different for each business, and not everyone sees a level of the same. So your next level may be going into a different pricing or serving a different type of client. Your next level could be adding team members. It could be developing a new service or a product. What does that next level look like for you and your business where you're at now? Why is that next level important to you? And what will attaining that next level enable you to do? Answering those questions really helps you get a better idea of how important this level is to you as an individual and to your business, or if it's more something that you perceive you should be doing. And then asking yourself, what is holding you back from moving to that next level? What is it? Resources? Is it people? What is keeping you from moving to that next level today? And then how can you reduce or remove those obstacles or those challenges and then move forward in the direction that you desire? Once you identify those things, what kind of support or resources do you need to move to the next level or to get those connections or those resources that you need? In the masterminds that I lead, depending on the size of the goal, then the project that the member has, or even myself, because we all participate in it uniquely, then breaking that next level or that goal down into 90-day mini goals. So we may have a big goal for the year, but then how do we work towards that each quarter or within each 90-day period? And then breaking down the 90-day period into 30-day or monthly projects, breaking those monthly projects down into weekly tasks or priorities, and then tracking them. So by breaking down where we want to go, what we want to achieve into tasks that we can easily accomplish, it makes it so much easier for us to identify how we can move from point A to point B. And then in addition, tracking that progress allows us to see our results. And results, whether they're good or bad, like they're good or bad, they all move us forward into growth. And by identifying them and by tracking them, it allows us to see what's working for our business. It allows us to see where there's gaps, what we may need to refine in the process, or if we need to pivot. And so it's really important that we are tracking that without identifying it, without writing it down, without taking the time to see what we're doing and what the results are. It's really hard to see if we're making progress on our goals and if we're moving towards the next level. And again, all of this is important while we are moving forward and making sure that we are consistent in our efforts and we're focused. After you have defined what that next level is for you and your business, there are three habits in place that are crucial to your success. And the first one is reflection. And this is probably one of the most hard habits that you can incorporate because it requires us to make intentional time in our schedules to see what has been working and what hasn't been working within our business and with our own personal development. And it's hard because so many times we're caught up in the day-to-day grind on what we need to accomplish next, whether we're serving our customers or working with our business partners or taking care of our team, or even just taking care of ourselves. And so we have to be intentional in scheduling in time to reflect on our business and ourselves. And just like a new home requires a quality control punch or an inspector before you move in, if you're building a house or if you're purchasing a home, our business requires us to do a quality control as well. So reviewing and refining our operations before we can move into the next season of our business or to that next level. Part of moving to the next level also requires us to get rid of what no longer serves us. That can be really hard, especially if we have emotional attachments to those things that are currently in our lives. So just like when we are moving and we're packing up our personal belongings to move into a new home, we typically have multiple piles for what we want to keep, things that we want to throw away, or things that we want to donate. That same analogy or process applies to our business. What do we need to get rid of? What can we share and pass along to somebody else? And what do we want to keep for our business? The other part of reflection and removing things that no longer serve us are sometimes people. And this is probably one of the hardest things. But I want to encourage you in this area because just because relationships no longer benefit both parties, and they should, doesn't mean that it didn't serve its purpose while it was there. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with either parties or that it has to end bad. Sometimes we just outgrow those spaces. We come to a fork in the road. And the only way for us to both continue to grow is for us to go our separate ways. And by giving people that space for them to continue on their path and their journey to grow, and for us to do the same, really helps all of us. And so I want you to be encouraged when you come across those challenges, whether it's with things or with people or whatever in your business, as you're refining it and as you're reflecting what you need to let go of, to be encouraged that you're not alone and it doesn't have to be bad. It's all how we choose to respond and take action. And again, moving into new levels means that we can't take everything with us, and not everything is for us. And then moving on to how to practice reflection. So several things that I do to practice reflection include constantly asking myself if what I'm consuming is moving me forward when I'm online. And I think online, especially because so many of us are online for business and then sometimes online for personal reasons, but is the content we're consuming, whether on social media or within our emails or different interactions, is it moving us forward? Is it feeding us? Another habit for practicing reflection that I've incorporated is cardio into my daily routine, because that time alone, uninterrupted in the gym, allows me to think through challenges that I have in my business or in my personal life. I put on the headphones, get on the machine, and I'm there uninterrupted for 45 minutes. And what it does is it allows me peace and quiet where I can gain clarity because I can focus on the situation and think through all the possible scenarios for it. And then once I'm done, then I have a better understanding of the situation and I can be level-headed when I come back to address it. I think a lot of times if we are constantly moving from one point to the next, that we can be quick to respond and respond out of emotion instead of with logic or reasonably. And in business, it's so important that we make the time that we're responding with logic and with reason and compassion. And by giving ourselves that space to reflect, it helps us make smarter choices, more strategic choices for our business. Also, I've incorporated journaling into part of my morning routine. So what do I want my day to look like? What am I grateful for? What am I excited about? Different little things like that really make a difference in moving forward in your day. And then going into meetings. So just this morning, I met someone for coffee, someone that I had not met before. And I didn't have expectations going into the meeting because I just wanted to create a relationship and get to know the other person. And that's part of creating relationships is going in without expectations, going in to see what can I learn about this other person, being interested in them, and then also what can I learn in return, or learn in return, but also what can I share in return? How can I be of value? That's how you create relationships. And so being intentional and creating that time to reflect of how you want to go into those meetings. And then at the end of each month, reflecting back on how you did. So what did you achieve? What was your progress during that month? What are the numbers? I think a lot of small business owners, we don't take the time to really assess and track the numbers. And the numbers is a tangible way to see if you're achieving your goal or not. If you're meeting it, are you above, below? Are you in the middle? The same as if you were working on your diet, you weigh yourself, because weighing yourself or clothes size that you wear or measurements, however you decide to determine that, numbers are a way to help you identify if you're meeting your goal or not. And the same thing applies in your business. What are your conversion rates for sales? What are your conversion rates for your website? What are your social media engagement numbers? Measuring those things show you whether you're making progress or not, and we have to make time to do that. And so part of reflection within our masterminds is incorporated into our quarterly and monthly reviews, because it's really important to me that you as a business owner, you're growing, that you are seeing growth, and that requires us to take time and reflect and make that practice. So in our masterminds, I've incorporated tools and resources to help you do that. And then the next habit is feedback. Feedback is crucial to your growth, and it requires you to be vulnerable. It requires us to be true with ourselves and with others, and it also requires us to show compassion. So are we open to receiving feedback, even when it may be difficult to hear? That's really hard, and especially depending on what place we are in our journey or in our life, sometimes we can be more sensitive to feedback than at other times. But it's really important that we don't surround ourselves with yes people. And a lot of times those yes people are people closest to us, our family and our friends, people that we go to. And there's a place for that. Those are great people. They love us and protect us and have our best intentions at heart. But also sometimes they can hinder us from growth. And so it's really important that you have people that are willing to challenge you, to give you constructive feedback, and also for you to be able to receive it and know the difference between what's feedback that is applicable to your stage in life, what you need to save for later, or what doesn't apply at all. And so it's being open and creating those opportunities for you to receive feedback. And are we honest with ourselves? I think a lot of us were already hard on ourselves. We have type A personalities, or we're very strong. That's why we're entrepreneurs and small business owners. But also sometimes we can be blindsided either by our passion, by our stubbornness, all different things, whatever our personalities are. So do we have that self-awareness to see what is working for ourselves, for our business? What do we need to change? What do we need to get rid of? What do we need to do more of? So being honest with ourselves, and then also being honest with others. Part of that exchange in feedback is also challenging others, because we know that they can do better, because we know what they're capable of, because we know through our experiences and our stories that there may be an easier way to do that. And are we able to share that with them? Do we have their best intentions? And when we have other people's best intentions at heart, it doesn't mean always giving them the soft answers, but also giving them the answers that will help them grow. And so a couple ways that we practice feedback. I practice it by surveying my email subscribers and members within the mastermind on a regular basis. Surveys allow them to give feedback anonymously. So that way for me, I want people's candid feedback. It's the best way for me to grow, to see what's working, what's not working within my business. And then for mastermind members, and also then for my coaching clients, I have one-on-one conversations. So I will schedule typically about 30-minute conversations with them. So that way we can have an open dialogue back and forth of what's working for them, what's not working, what would they like to see me improve. By having that open conversation and creating a space where they can share feedback, it allows us both to grow together, allows us to establish rapport and trust. And again, that's how we all grow together. Part of being a business owner and a leader is about serving others. And in order to serve others well, you have to be willing to receive feedback. And how we play that into the masterminds is the feedback within your mastermind team or your mastermind group. So there's no more than 8 women that are in a mastermind, and they're typically all from different industries. So getting their insight and their perspective on your business is really valuable because it's similar to what your clients are giving you, meaning that they don't know your industry terms, they don't know your jargon, they don't know your best practices. So their feedback typically is more objective because they're seeing it from a different perspective. And that can help us because a lot of times when we're in a silo, meaning that we're surrounded in a bubble by people who do exactly what we do, it can be hard to see what may be blocking us from growth or moving to the next level. And so that's what I've loved over the past 4 years of meeting with these women who are from all over the US in different industries, is because it really creates a diverse conversation and feedback. And again, it helps provide clarity within that. The third habit is accountability. So are we able to change our perspective to view challenges as opportunities and setbacks as temporary? Because every step is part of the growth process. And so with the accountability, do we have someone that's holding our feet to the fire? Are we having someone that will say, you said that you were going to do this, what happened? Like, did you encounter a challenge? Did you have something that was holding you back? How can I help you? That accountability, someone that will check in with us because they want to see us grow as much as we want to grow, but will also question us. I think it's really easy to sometimes shy away from areas where we may be embarrassed because we said something and we didn't accomplish it. But having those women support you and say, I want you to accomplish this. What can we do to make sure that you're moving in that direction? If you didn't accomplish it, then why? How can we move forward? And I will say that has been huge for me this past year in implementing new habits and doing things within my business, because I know that every week when I show up and I share what I'm doing, those women are going to recognize whether I've done it or not. And Jennifer Enlightened Holistic is sharing the accountability component is priceless in a mastermind environment. And I agree. And the accountability is not just between the women that are in the mastermind group, but it's also with me. Like, I am doing the exact same practices and exercises as you, because even though I'm facilitating it, we're all equals. And I believe in leading by example and doing the work beside you, because that's how we learn and grow. And so how do I practice feedback? The accountability is by checking in with the mastermind members, by following through what I say in our weekly fresh starts, but also in the conversations that we have in our monthly reviews and our monthly check-ins. And because we share those goals, the projects that we're working on, and our weekly intentions, there's that built-in accountability. Did I say what I said I would do? If not, why? And again, like I said, no one's exempt, including myself, from showing up. And then the other thing that I think sometimes we overlook, either because we're not aware or we take it for granted, but when we show up, when we follow through on what we said we would do, then it builds trust and it builds respect between ourselves and the other business owners that are within our mastermind group. And I think a lot of times, because we just look at our participation as an individual participation, so that we're just letting ourselves down. But honestly, how we choose to show up in our mastermind group is reflected on our character and our professionalism within the business world. And others are observing that and looking at it. It doesn't mean that they're judging and saying that you're less than, but it does reflect our work ethic and our ability to serve others. So for example, if someone is looking for, let's say, a designer and an accountant or a real estate agent, like how do you choose to show up every time you're part of that mastermind? Are you reflecting your brand? Are you reflecting your work ethic? Because when the opportunities come, and we all know somebody that's looking for somebody, are you showing up in a place where others would refer you to them? I think that's really important. So are you showing up on time? Are you following through on your word? Are you doing the things that you said you would do? And this is across the board, personally and professionally. It's really important. And also, too, there's what I talked about, how you appear outside to others, but also for yourself. When you follow through on the things that you said you would do, you feel better about yourself. You're more confident. It allows you to rise to the next level. It allows you to take on new challenges because you know you were capable of doing the thing before. And so there's multiple benefits of the accountability, both for yourself internally and then also externally. So again, those 3 habits that are crucial to your success are feedback, reflection, and accountability. Moving into the last point, as far as best practices for growth. So as we've talked about, growth has multiple layers. It includes removing what no longer serves us or weighs us down, and it also includes stretching us to reach new heights, meaning taking calculated risks so that we can move to the next level, because that's where the learning and the growth occur. And it can be challenging at times because we can be afraid of the unknown. We can be afraid of failure. We can also be afraid of success, because success will require us to do things that we haven't done before. And that can also be a fear. Sometimes people don't recognize that's what it is, but that has happened a lot, where people are afraid that if they get to the next level of success, either they'll disappoint somebody because they won't be able to follow through, or that other people will think that they're leaving them behind. There's so many different things that factor into that, but it really is an opportunity to stretch ourselves and to grow. And so much of success is really the mindset and how you view things and how you respond to things. So sharing what I am doing moving into 2019 and how I am preparing both for my goals in the coming year and then also for next week's mastermind strategy session on Tuesday, I am doing these 7 different things, and I want to share them with you in case they inspire you or there's something that you can incorporate. So the first thing that I'm doing is making a list of potential words for my word of the year. I've been doing this probably for about 6 or 7 years now. And so for 2018, my word of the year was consistent. And it was really important to me that I consistently showed up in the things that I wanted to do that were important to me. So for example, I wanted to be consistent in my exercise, going to the gym. And so that meant showing up every day, regardless of whether I wanted to or not, whether I felt like it or not. It meant still going. That habit has paid off. It also means consistently showing up and creating content, because I know that when I create content, that is a benefit to the people that I'm serving, because I'm sharing my knowledge and helping them. So whatever your word is, like that word can be a motivator in guiding your actions throughout the year. And then I make a list of guiding phrases or quotes for how I want to show up in my relationships. So one of the phrases that I had last year was, "She who serves best prospers the most." And the reason that I chose that is because it exemplifies my core values of leadership and excellence. And again, leadership is about serving other people, regardless of your title or how many people that are in your circle. And then excellence, again, showing up, being your best every time that you are serving others. Number 3, defining the top areas I want to improve in my business based off of my performance this year in 2018 and where I see myself in my vision for 2019 and 2020. Number 4, of those top 3 areas, then what is my course for learning? What am I going to do to make sure that I'm learning the skills and knowledge, gaining the knowledge that I need in order to move to that level. So I just want to, while I say knowledge, there's a difference between learning and knowledge. Learning is gaining information, but knowledge is actually implementing and executing on what you've learned. And the value is in the execution, because that's where you learn what works and what doesn't work and what you need to do better. So there's a difference between learning and knowledge. I just want to emphasize or point that out. So for me, for 2019, things that I've already done is joined a coaching group for 2019, so that way I can be surrounded by peers, but also challenged for growth. I've put a lot of those ideas and things that I'm doing for 2019 in a book or a notebook for myself. Also, I've defined the areas of expertise that I want to strengthen and focus on in 2019. So specifically, leadership being one of them, copywriting being another. So I've bought books to support my growth and learning there. One of the books that I recently purchased, it's new, just came out. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. This is not endorsed. I just want to show you what I've been doing and what I plan on doing for 2019. And then number 5, filter content. So important. This is part of just my existing habits. But for me, this means looking at what I subscribe to, the newsletters, the emails that come into my inbox. How are those serving me? How are they helping me grow and move towards my vision? And then also the people that I follow on social media. Are the people that I follow, are they challenging me to grow? Are they inspiring me? Are they educating me? If not, then they're removed from my focus, removed from my content consumption. And the reason that's so important is because we have a limited amount of time every day, and what we consume can either distract us or it can fuel us. And so it requires us to be intentional in what we allow in. And that's part of success and taking us to the next level, is being intentional in what we choose to bring in. The other thing that I want to encourage you with is, just because you unsubscribe from a list or you unfollow someone, it does not define your relationship with someone. So if you're following someone because you're friends or associates and you want to show that you're supportive of them, same with emails, just because you unsubscribe or unfollow does not damage the relationship. Your relationship should surpass and be outside of social media and email boundaries. If that is a defining factor, I honestly would question the relationship, because the relationship should have so many other components outside of that. And again, as friends, we recognize we have limited amounts of time a day. With that being said, if you want to unfollow, unsubscribe, feel free, because at the end of the day, we all have a limited amount of time, and there's a time and place for everything. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, but you get to decide what's lifting you up and moving you to that next level. And then number 6, being intentional about what I add onto my plate in 2019. So as I was talking about a little bit ago, our time doesn't increase just because our dreams get bigger. And so as you add something to your plate, you need to remember to either drop, reduce, or delegate something. We cannot do it all at the same time. So again, as you add something to your plate, remember to drop, reduce, or delegate something. And it doesn't make you any less capable of, but again, we have so much time in a day, and it's really important that we take care of ourselves and that we also prioritize the things that we want to accomplish. And then 7, what are my 3 big goals that I want to accomplish in 2019? Of those 3 big goals that I want to accomplish, are they aligned with my business mission of helping women in business excel in leadership and helping them with their teams and operations? Does it align with my values of excellence in leadership? And then also, does it align with my expertise, meaning of what I know, my skills and my experience, does it align with that? Or is it stretching? Is it outside of that? So the reason that we're able to attain our goals is because they're in alignment with who we are and where we're at. So I hope in sharing those 7 best practices with you, things that I'm implementing and practicing, that they are inspiring to you and will help you. And again, growth requires big risks, which require us to stretch and get outside of our comfort zone. So why do I lead masterminds? The reason that I lead masterminds is because of the community that it creates, but also because it's an opportunity for me to help business women move forward by sharing my experience and knowledge, plus learning with them. Again, like I said earlier, it's not a one-way street. Even though I'm facilitating the masterminds and I'm the business coach, I learn and gain as much from the women that are at the table as I hope that they gain from me. And that's the joy of working together, is that we all have something to contribute and all have something to learn. And for me, and I've talked about this earlier, consistency, showing up every month for the past 4 years to talk with women from different backgrounds all across the country. Jen's on here, she's from Connecticut. Karina's here in Chicago. There's several others of you. I think I saw Meredith earlier. She's here in Chicago. But you all have different backgrounds. You all have different industries that you work within. And so having the privilege to work with you, learn from you, and then also the responsibility of bringing my best self to the table every time, making sure that I'm being of value to you. I have enjoyed that. It's stretched me, but it's also been an encouragement. And like I said, I always come away learning from other women that are at the table. Why is a mastermind important? Well, I will say that anyone can create a mastermind. If you gather together a group of peers, it doesn't have to be necessarily a paid mastermind. The difference, though, and the reason that I've created the Little Black Desk Society masterminds in the way that I have, is because when people pay for a mastermind, they invest more of themselves. When you have skin in the game, which in this case is cash, then you're more apt to show up. You treat it differently because you've made that investment. And you also know that those that are participating in the mastermind as well, because they have skin in the game, because they've made a cash investment, that they're going to show up and that they're going to do the work. And so when you have people on the same playing field and they're invested in it, it just creates a different dynamic for conversations, for accountability, for support, for feedback, all of those different things. Also, I've been very intentional in the support system that I've created for you, because I don't believe that a mastermind is necessarily always just about fun conversations, although those are a joy to have, but they're also about the accountability. And so what do you need in order to move your business forward? Are you seeing results? And part of that is we have a growth tracking chart that our members have access to for reporting on their goals, their projects, their tasks. Are they achieving the things that they want to achieve? If not, why not? They have monthly check-ins where they have the review and the reflection, because making that time to work on your business is where you're going to see the growth. If you're constantly working in your business in the day-to-day operations with your clients, that's important too, but you can never move ahead if you're always in the daily grind. And this is regardless of whether you're running a business or whether you're just a professional in your 9-to-5 job, which is important too. Like, in order for you to grow, you have to create dedicated time to see where you want to go and what you need to improve. And so that's what I enjoy, the challenge for me, but also the reward for me of creating those tools and resources to help you do that and implement that within your professional career. And then also those tools and those resources and my dedication to refining it and making it better year after year is why women like Stephanie and Karina have showed up year after year, is because they've been with me on the journey. They've seen the growth within their own business. They've seen the growth within Little Black Desk Society, and they want to be a part of it because they know the difference that it makes. And I refer to Stephanie and Karina because if you go to our website, littleblackdesksociety.com/masterminds, you can listen to both of their experiences. We did a live interview and they shared what their experience has been like being members of the mastermind for the past couple of years. So I have a question for you. If you've enjoyed the conversations that we've had over the past week, which include the core of a strong business, raising rates is more than numbers, creating a team who excels, and then today's conversation about moving your business to the next level, I would love for you to join us in the 2019 Masterminds, because this is really what it's about. It's about conversation, community, feedback, accountability, reflection in order to help you move your business to the next level. And it's been so much fun, and it's a joy to learn beside these women. If you're asking yourself, what does the Mastermind membership include? Well, I'm happy to share that. So the first thing is a strategy planning video call. These are hosted quarterly. The first one is next Tuesday, December 11th. And we do those every 3 months, and it allows you to plan for the upcoming 90 days and to identify what your goals and projects are and outline the steps to achieve them. You have your monthly mastermind call, which is the first week of each month. Those are approximately 2 hours long. We go into depth to discuss what has happened over the past month, what's coming up in the next 30 days, and how we can help you and support you to achieve that. We have mid-month accountability check-ins. Those are about 60 minutes, and it's to come in, get feedback, support, because sometimes we can get into the month and then either feel like we're struggling or feel like we've fallen off track, or we just want to share what's happened so far. And so that quick check-in allows us to have that community and that support. And then accountability goal tracking. So there is a spreadsheet where you're tracking your progress, and you have the accountability of others within your mastermind group that are tracking their progress as well. So you all have access to that. It's also protected by an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, that you all sign when you come into the mastermind. Each week we have our priorities that we set. We share them with each other. What are the things that we are going to accomplish this week that we're focusing on? But not just on the business, but also how are we taking care of ourselves? Because if we are not taking care of ourselves, we are less able to serve others well. So both of those elements are extremely important, and I've incorporated them into the membership. You have your mastermind workbook, so it's a tangible resource to support you during your membership. There's additional bonus content and exclusive coaching that you receive from me during the membership. And then you have your private community, just between you and your peers within your mastermind group. In addition to that private community, you also have complimentary access to your mastermind, to the academy. So other businesswomen in there and the conversations that they're having. Enrollment for 2019 Masterminds is open, and it closes on Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Friday, December 7th. And you have the choice of either a 6-month or 12-month membership. You can choose a payment plan, or you can pay in full upfront and save. And you can also have the opportunity to enroll with a friend and save. So there's 2 different ways, whether you want to do a payment plan or enroll with a friend. If you enroll with a friend, you can also take advantage of the payment plan as well. If you choose if you choose to enroll, let's say for 6 months as an individual and pay in full upfront, it is a $5,000 investment. If you choose to enroll with a friend for 6 months and do a payment plan, then you would pay $2,500 upfront, and then you would have 6 equal monthly payments of $325. And so, again, listening to Stephanie and Karina, their experiences within the mastermind, the results that they have achieved, the growth that they've seen within their business because of the relationships, the accountability, the feedback that they've received with the women at the table. We would love to have you join us. If you have any questions, whether it's about the mastermind or coaching, or you just have questions for me and my growth as a small business owner and within my career, I encourage you to DM me or to send me an email. I am happy to chat. But thank you for taking time out of your day to join me, and I wish you the best of luck and look forward to seeing you and your business grow in 2019.